We want this place to be a food forest when it's all said and done, where you can fall out of your house and as you're going to the ground, reach upon the fig tree and grab a fig off and pop it in your mouth. That's what we want out here.
Genesis Gardens at Community First Village, a Mobile Loaves and Fishes planned community for the formerly homeless, is rooted in Alan Graham's mission to nourish.
The Genesis was a spiritual Genesis. It was a point in time in my life a little over 20 years ago where I had this kind of a powerful revelation about my connection with the Creator. And I began to adopt a philosophy at that time called just say yes. What do you want me to do? And that just say yes philosophy began to move me, navigate me in a sequence of events that ultimately led to the founding of Mobile Loaves and Fishes in 1998. And we discovered something very profound. And that is, we believe that the single greatest cause to homelessness is a profound, catastrophic loss of family. Hence, the philosophy of Community First.
To complement Mobile Loaves and Fishes street ministry, Alan envisioned a village of affordable tiny homes and communal gathering to unite the chronically homeless and disabled who wanted permanent familial roots.
And so we embarked on a quest to find a tract of land. When we found this piece of property, it was a dumping grounds.
Community partners pitched in with donations, materials, and volunteer hours to turn the lump of coal into a multifaceted 27-acre diamond that nourishes body and soul.
I've been with the Genesis Gardens for over a year now, and I've lived out here over a year. And the gardens is my main deals, but I also do the tools for the garden.
I work in the gardens, but my main job is taking care of the fruit trees that we got planted around the property. All the different, from peach, apple, mulberries, plums, grapes, figs, olives. When we have our farmers market, we distribute to the residents.
The eggs from our chickens are one of the fastest moving products at our farmers market every week. And we invite residents to come on an A/B schedule, so we get about half our residents one week and half the next week. They show up with their grocery bags and they go shopping, but everything is free.
If you go into our wonderful grocery stores and you want to buy a dozen free-range organic chicken eggs, they're $6 or $7 a dozen. Or if you want a heirloom quality organic tomato, they're $5 a pound approximately, and there's nobody that lives in poverty that can afford that. And so we wanted to grow that as the first line of defense into phenomenal physical health and phenomenal mental health.
The Genesis Gardens crew has 2 staff members, so that's Jim Doster and myself, but we're backed by about 10 resident contractors, folks who live here or who want to live here, who want to earn a dignified income by working on site.
I still learn every day from Jim and Heidi something new, a different type of bean we're growing this year, or a different type of cabbage or broccoli. Flowers, yeah, we plant flowers out here in the garden too.
When I first came out here, I was working in the garden, and Heidi asked me if I wanted to, learn to take care of the fruit trees, and I said, yeah, I'll learn. I'm willing to do something. So I went to a little class, 6-week class, and learned some stuff about what was going on, and then they put me in charge of the fruit trees.
A lot of our friends, our neighbors here, are coming from an immediate experience of like a fast food culture because that's what's cheap. But when you start to hand out okra, or you start to give out those mustard greens, especially us Southerners, like you get those stories back of, well, my grandma used to, which is a delightful experience thinking about someone entering back into a homemaking rhythm in their lives.
I snapped peas with my grandmother. She had always had an acre of garden somewhere or another. I can remember as kids being on the couch snapping peas all day long, or just every little bit of everything. We used to take buckets of water. We pull up to the pond. We didn't have no water out there with her bill. We'd fill up 5-gallon buckets, load them in the back of the truck, and water an acre of garden.
When we are settled in cultivating, it moves us into this place of caring for it, and that's the ultimate circle of life.
The circle revolves around resourceful stewardship, including recycling and repurposing materials to build structures like the chicken coop.
The log beds are reclaimed wood from around the property. We did a lot of clearing on these 27 acres over the last 5 years, so we put some of that wood to use there. The trellises that run through our main garden here that are planted in vines and a few espaliered trees and grapevines, Stephen put in. We're organically composting our soils and using organic amendments on them. We want to make sure not only that the food that's coming out of here is as safe and as healthy as it can be, but the experience for our growers, including our volunteers, is very safe.
Although they grow some crops from transplants, the infrastructure is now in place for the gardeners to earn money by nurturing plants from seed.
The geodome will become permanent raised beds, large raised beds that will plant up in perennial edibles, lots of avocado, citrus, vining edibles that will take advantage of that really incredibly tall structure.
Community First Village's Just Say Yes philosophy thrives on new ventures.
The dairy goat program is in its sort of infancy. I can't wait to see who amongst the folks living out here turns out to be our shepherd and who amongst the folks living out here turns out to be our cheesemonger.
Volunteers sustain every endeavor, enriching their lives as much as the ones they've touched.
If you love gardening and farming, bring those gifts into this community. Really, what I like to say is that I provided a mustard seed of an idea here. Let's build an RV park on steroids, and then have invited the entire community to come and pour into it.
Volunteers are awesome. If you can see anything out here in this garden or anywhere on this 27 acres, the volunteers' hands have touched it in one form or another.
That's what gets me up in the mornings, to come out here because I know I'm going to be working with volunteers and, teaching them a different thing.
I was homeless for a long time and stuff, and then to have people, trust me and let me go and just plant what I want to plant, and teach other people. I teach what I'm taught to other people, so I'm passing something on that could use.
Both in reality and metaphorically, there's such a connection between gardening, farming, stewarding the resources of the earth, and we use that word stewardship every day here. And if we take exactly the same concept that we're doing here on the farm and apply that to human beings, which is what we're doing, you watch what the result of that will be. And this place is manifesting that culture of complete nourishment.
Just come out and check it out for yourself. It's beautiful, quiet, peaceful, and you'll be amazed what you see out here.